Hey, what's up, all you ponies out there? I'm Duuz-Diz-Din coming at you with another My Little Pony Friendship is Magic episode review. This time it's season nine's episode 11 titled Student Counsel. And this is actually about best girlfriends Trixie and Starlight Glimmer. A very fun little episode that totally means they're married, or at least dating. You can't change my mind. You can't change my mind. And so they're off on a bit of a picnic that Trixie has set up for Starlight Glimmer. However, Starlight kind of hooked up a little bit of an apparatus. This bracelet that glows when anyone knocks on her counselor door. Any students who need help, she'll immediately be notified about. And over the course of the picnic, Starlight blinks in and out, just going to Counsel and trying to have a little bit of a picnic with Trixie, much to Trixie's dismay, as Starlight just can't seem to finish her thought without poofing in and out. And I love how Trixie is just very agitated right here. She was looking forward to a nice day with her friend, and her friend is kinda blowing her off for the most part. And despite everything, Starlight kind of plays it off like while it's a lot of work, she's completely fine with the way things are. But Trixie's feeling a little bit neglected right now because she's been away from her waifu, their girlfriend. She can't convince me otherwise. And Trixie feels very hurt by the fact that she can't hang out with her best friend. And as Starlight continues to blink in and out, Trixie is growing even more agitated as things go on. And that's what leads to the head of our actual episode. And we see that Silverstream is kind of coming to Starlight for very minor things in regards to how she should explain a shower to her sea pony relatives who don't really do the whole dry land thing. And Starlight has a line of other ponies looking for a little bit of guidance counseling. And she tries to she's trying to get Silverstream to understand that maybe she should be the one to focus on this more, and this isn't really a guidance counselor situation. And, kind of pushes her out the door, but still very kind about the whole situation. However, Trixie pops in and slams the door on all the other students waiting in line because there's an event that Starlight was supposed to help set up for. And Starlight's just like, well, I have all these students and all the other teachers have gone home for the solstice summer and the summer break and all that. So she's the only one there, and I'm just like, Twilight, hire more teachers. Hire more teachers. I'm starting to really question how many people actually teach at this school. It's like, do not tell me it is all of 8 people. 7 if you don't include Spike. But still, it's like, I'm kind of questioning that to a certain degree. But, Trixie is rightfully angry because apparently Starlight forgot about the fact that they have a summer solstice party they were supposed to be throwing, getting set up for Maud Pie. Maud is going to be there, Mudbriar, Sunburst, all their friends are going to be there, and Starlight said she was going to help prepare for it. And Starlight obviously completely forgot about the whole thing. And, Trixie kind of is very agitated about this because Starlight made a promise. And I feel bad for this one pony who's just apparently had a very dire question he wanted to ask Starlight, but that's apparently not going to happen. As Starlight heads out with Trixie, doing her best to kind of split the difference between helping out the students and being there for her friends. And, as the list is set up, we also find out that, when Starlight suggests just buying a cake, Trixie had to jump through a lot of hoops to get Mrs. Cake to actually agree to show Trixie and Starlight how to make her famous summer solstice cake. So Trixie is not okay with Starlight just bouncing out and not being there for an event she promised to be there for. Don't make promises to your friends you're not going to keep, people. And while Starlight continues to poof in and out between her counseling duties and setting up for the party, she says she'll split the difference. Trixie will do certain things, Starlight will do others, and they'll meet in the middle for the most part. And as Trixie goes to get some, flower sticks as Mudbriar requested from Rose Luck, in comes Starlight saying, oh, she's also here to get those same, flower sticks, which Rose Luck has no idea what they are. But Trixie's a little PO'd because, she thought she was the one doing the flower sticks. So obviously it wasn't actually clearly set up how the division of duties was going to be cut up. And as Starlight yet again has more counseling duties, we see adorable little Roseluck gluing little flowers onto the sticks to create these flower sticks. So, bless Roseluck's heart for actually giving it that old college try. Adorable, just adorable. And as Silverstream is still coming to Starlight for these minor problems, she's also trying to pick up all the ribbons and streamers. She has to settle a dispute between Gallius and Smolder, where it's a very justifiable situation as Smolder had accidentally burnt up Gallius's book, and she even gives this wry smile at the end. And it's just one of the most funny moments of this whole entire episode. It's just that smirk she has on her face and how pissed off Gallius is. It's just like, you did this, he's just so annoyed. It is absolutely beautiful. And as Starlight tries to pick up this kind of dish container for the event that Sunburst requested, she finds out that Trixie already picked it up, not knowing that, oh, that was one of her duties. So a lot of mixed signals and crossed wires. And she continues to, try to, because apparently all the students only have her to come to, so she's the only one who can deal or try to help them out. And when she finally tries to get to Mrs. Cake, Mrs. Cake is already closing down shop, and she's just like, oh no, I was supposed to learn how to make that recipe, only for Mrs. Cake to say, well, Trixie already stopped by and learned everything. And Starlight just feels so awful about this whole situation because they were supposed to learn it together. And when she gets another summons to her counseling office, it's Trixie, who figured that, well, the only way to actually get in contact with Starlight was to actually go to her counseling office. And yet again, Silverstream comes in to ask about a situation with the school project. But Starlight decides that, nope, that's the end. That's enough is enough. You can figure this out on your own. You're very bright. I have the rest of my day plan. And, Starlight turns away very dejected for the most part, but naturally Trixie is elated. And while the cake turned out a little bit harder than they were hoping for, almost petrified, Starlight is just glad that she was able to make it together with Trixie. And as the party goes on, and Maud's actually very happy about the whole setup that Starlight and Trixie were able to create, they're actually and Maud is also just very taken with the whole event. She's extremely happy, if you can't tell. And as Trixie gets ready to try out a nice little dish and just happy that her girlfriend is there to enjoy the whole situation, they ultimately end up being interrupted by Silverstream's brother, Terramar, who says that Silverstream never showed up for the whole get-together for the summer solstice. And Sunburst says that she could be anywhere between, Ponyville and where all the hippogriffs are. And when Taramar asks if Starlight knows anything, Starlight laments the fact that the last thing she knows about Silverstream is that she had come to her, and Terramar says that she was working on a project which Starlight knows nothing about, and she probably would have had Trixie not been there to interrupt the whole situation. And Terramar kind of chews out Starlight about not being there when Silverstream really needed her. But Trixie snaps back in saying that, well, Starlight was overworked and not having enough time to live her own life. But Starlight takes it all on herself, feeling personally responsible for not being there for her student in need. So she sets off with Terramar. And, Maud feels a little bit bummed about the fact that apparently Pinkie Pie's the only one who can throw successful parties. And as they search the school grounds, they eventually come upon Silverstream's room with notes on cockatrices, and apparently Silverstream was doing research on cockatrices. And as they set off for the Everfree Forest to find them, we see that all of Starlight's friends have shown up to help out, with Trixie feeling specifically bad because she pulled Starlight away from actually helping out Silverstream. And Maud Pie says that they'll make a successful party yet with a search party. And as Trixie bluffs in saying that she knows everything about the Everfree Forest, she immediately gets them lost. However, Terramar picked up Silverstream's notes on cockatrices, specifically that they prefer rocky places with a lot of shade. Naturally, both Mudbriar and Maud know enough about flora, fauna, and geological formations to know where that would probably be in the Everfree Forest, and they find that the cockatrices are in this migratory herd. And while they're just happy that Silverstream doesn't seem to be amongst the cockatrices victims, they end up being ambushed by a whole bunch of cockatrices and run in various directions. And as a lot of them end up getting cornered, Starlight uses her abilities to poof a lot of them out of harm's way. However, when she finds Maud and Mudbriar, Mudbriar has already been turned to stone. Although Maud ends up being a little bit turned on at the fact that Mudbriar is even more attractive than he ever was before. And while they do manage to avoid being captured by the cockatrices, they end up being chased all the way to the, ruins of the Castle of the Two Sisters, where they barricade themselves in. Where it's just like, why don't the cockatrices just fly over the walls? But Starlight still feels guilty about not being there for Silverstream. But then they realize that, oh yeah, the, recreated Treehouse of Harmony is another place where Silverstream probably would have hung out, not having remembered it because it's only just freshly formed still. It hasn't been around that long, so I'm not surprised that not everyone still keeps that in mind that it's there. And we come to find out, yes, Silverstream was there, and she was studying with cockatrices, specifically one that she had befriended that she had called Edith. And, she'd actually gotten to know it fairly well. And, they're shocked to have found out that, she had been here this entire time. And, when Terramar questions the fact that Silverstream had been there, Silverstream says that she had come here because, she took Starlight's advice to heart, just, figuring it out on her own. So she decided to stay in the Treehouse of Harmony in order to, get the project done before she went on her summer vacation. But, she completely lost track of actually contacting anyone because she was having so much fun. And, Sunburst is actually taken aback because of the fact that she was actually able to get so close in with a cockatrice, which is very rare. And with that, they're hoping that she might be able to help out in de-stonifying Mudbriar. And after he's successfully destoned, he's actually kind of thankful for the experience because he feels like he's, gained a better understanding of rock and various geological formations, much to Maud's swooning. It's just, I love Maud. Mudbriar, but Maud is always perfection. But Terramar's just happy and thankful for Starlight helping to find his sister, but Starlight still feels a little bit guilty. But Trixie tells her, you were pulling yourself too thin. You weren't giving yourself enough room. And, Sunburst even says, it's just like, look, you got to find a balance. It's not wrong to have, to be dedicated to your job, but you also got to take some time to yourself, or else you don't really find any proper balance in the way you do things, and you burn yourself out or just end up causing more trouble than help. And even Silverstream feels bad about constantly coming to Starlight for every little problem, but it's because Starlight's doors were always open at every time, so it just helped her, have someone to bounce ideas off of. And Trixie says it's just like you gotta figure out a system for just being there for your friends and being there for your students. So Starlight decides that she'll start setting up set times for her to meet with students. That way the important questions will actually be there when they matter. But even Silverstream admits that being there all the time to see Starlight really didn't help her with more of her minor problems, much to Starlight's shock. But, Trixie has had enough of the moping and tries to cut the cake for everyone, only for it to be completely inedible. But that doesn't stop Maud, as she's all about that petrified cake life, much to everyone's delight, and they all get to celebrate the solstice in their own variety of different ways, thus ending a nice little episode centered around Starlight and her group of friends, which honestly, I'm kind of glad for this episode, because I was really starting to question whether or not Starlight had her own life, her own, thing going, her own goals, and just how was her whole life holding up? Because she's made all these friends, she's gained all this personal life, and that's the thing I've always questioned, because a lot of the other characters I don't know how they're juggling between their schoolwork and their actual jobs, because Applejack runs a farm, Pinkie Pie, works at a bakery, Rarity makes dresses, and she owns several companies, several locations and boutiques and stuff. So she has to have some management for that. Fluttershy just has like that sanctuary for the most part. So, I can't see that being too much of a trouble, but she still looks after a variety of different animals. It's all these different things. Hell, Rainbow Dash is a full-time Wonderbolt. Like, how are you guys keeping up with your personal work and your school jobs? And how are you even having personal lives? That's a question I always had, but, apparently they're balancing it out. But this was a nice little peek into, Starlight's whole life and times, and how she's coping with the fact that, she's fully moved on from being a former villain and just living her best life. And, now she'll move forward with her girlfriend Twixie. Obvious girlfriend Trixie. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. How did you feel about this episode? Do you ship Trixie and Starlight like I do? Please say yes in the comment section below. And how did you feel about, how do you feel about Starlight's life? Did you enjoy seeing a peek into it? Or do you feel that it wasn't really your cup of tea? Again, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. If you liked this video, feel free to leave me a like. Feel free to leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike. Sorry, my power almost went off. And, tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below. If you liked If you want to see more My Little Pony episode reviews, subscribe and hit the bell icon. And if you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I am everywhere for better or for worse. And until the next video, just remember to always find a balance between your friends and your work. I know I need to do a little bit of that. But until the next video, I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and God, I hope my power doesn't go out. Bye-bye.